Good evening, America. Welcome back to another episode of Break the Machine podcast. I am alone tonight, solo. Red Day Walker had to take care of some familial obligations, so he'll be back with us on Monday. So tonight will probably be a short night for you all. It is a Friday night, and plus the weather outside here is just absolutely atrocious. And I hope hope I don't lose my signal. I've had some brownouts a little bit earlier today, leading up to right now. So hopefully it's dying down a little bit. Um, if you'd like to support the show, there is a donation link at the top of the chat. Anything counts. We appreciate it. Anything you can give. Don't forget to pick up your Scars and Stripes coffee, fam. It is a company that has fantastic tasting coffee. They do get their coffee from outside the country. They roast it here in the United States, and they got several different blends. Both what do you call it? No ups. Oh, um, both in beans, so you can ground your own beans if you like to do it, or ground it already. So they have some good tasting blends and whatnot. When I get a chance, I'm gonna try to taste their. I haven't tasted their espresso blend, so I want to check that out. Um, I'll have the ticker go across. So if you decide you want to get some coffee, just click on the link in the description, and it'll take you right to their website with my discount code involved with it. So you should be all okay. Um, yeah, I have one I have to plug in, man. I got something to that should help me. We'll see. Uh I'm in an apartment, bro, so it's kind of hard. But yeah, I do have something to protect my electronics, but especially cuz good news is I'm actually going to be getting released to come home to start working from home next Friday. So that's pretty dope. I got a new desk coming in that's gonna because I just got what they're gonna give me, these two monitors. They're gonna give me absolutely humongous. So I needed a new space. It also give me some space to do the show on one side, and on the other side to do my work and stuff like that, my regular everyday 9 to 5 stuff. But anyway, fam, I had some people reach out to me in my DMs over the week after we, got the bomb dropped on us on Sunday with this whole thing with Epstein, and it had me really, really. I was pretty worked up last weekend, and early in the week and whatnot. Um, you know, Epstein's not gonna be the end all be all for my life, so a lot of people were wondering why I wasn't commenting on it. Um, yeah, I know. Yeah, I got to talk to you about that, Jonathan. Um, But they asked me why I hadn't commented it. I did drop an article day of. And if you guys actually follow me on Instagram and whatnot, I usually add music to it that should tell you how I feel about things. Whatever's in the article and whatnot. So but I had some people reach out to me, some friends of the show and some viewers and whatnot that I've seen in the chat and whatnot. I'm like, what is your opinion? Do you have an opinion? And of course, I have an opinion, just like everybody else. So I'm gonna get into that tonight with you all. It's a short, like I said, short show. I want you all to use this time to, if you want to vent, by all means, vent, right? Because you guys have a right to be pissed off. We did a lot of fighting to try to change things in 2024, and although we've reported on a lot of the good things that this administration is doing, we also have to report on bullshit too, right? We call balls and strikes on this show, so we have to keep it real with you all. And when we're not doing right about something, we don't feel right about something, um, we should report on it. I also didn't really get into it too much because inside I had a feeling like, this is a big one and this is going to implode some shit. If you guys are paying attention today, that implosion is starting to happen. There is some cracks happening, whatnot. We will see because everything's 50-50. We'll see how it comes out. But let me get into how I feel about this thing. Um, I do feel that there is a list. There's just too much evidence that came out of the Maxwell case. Okay, she's sitting in the jail for 20 years for specific reasons. Not only that, she had several lawsuits against her, leading up to her when she before she got arrested for the sex trafficking and whatnot. And they brought her up on 6 counts, and they convicted her of 5. A jury came back and said that she was responsible for 5, and she was part of it. So none of us believe that there's no list. That's one. Okay, there isn't a fucking shred of evidence to point that there isn't a list. All right, but what you have to understand, and I'm gonna take this back to something that I remember, like in the 1990s, like taking a criminal justice as a degree in fucking junior college was the was what everybody was doing, right? Myself included. Um, I didn't finish it in the 90s, but when I got back from Iraq, I went back to school to finish it, and I finished I'm sorry, my associates in criminal justice because I had started it. I didn't want to change it, so I finished it in a year. Right. Well, one of my what do you call it? Yeah, there is. I agree. There's just too much information. It's all bullshit for if anybody's trying to say that there isn't. It's just not. But we'll get into that a little bit more. So like again, I understand why everybody's pissed off, and you all have a right to be pissed off. And tonight, use it to vent. If you got some, opinions, put it in the chat and whatnot, and we'll speak on it, okay? But let me just finish what I was saying. I had a I had a professor who was a former FBI agent, and he's like, I had several classes with him, my Constitution class and my investigation class, who was with him. And one of the things that resonated with me, that stuck with me, was something he said in the class when it came to investigations. He said, as if you're a really good investigator, you're not trying to prove somebody guilty. You're actually trying to prove somebody innocent. And he said he learned that the hard way when he was young in the FBI, where he got really dogmatic on a case and he wanted to prove that someone was guilty, and they ended up walking because he didn't do exactly what it was. He didn't lose his job or anything like that, but it stuck with him. So he changed the way he did things, right? And he was like, from then on, I just went on and continued to every investigation I had. Hey, Chastity, what's going up? What's going on? It's good to see you, hon. Every investigation after that, his motivation was a, let me see if I can prove this. It's your birthday tomorrow. Well, let's give Chastity, okay, happy birthday. Everybody say what's up to her. So I'll say happy birthday to her and whatnot. Okay, happy birthday to you. Enjoy your day tomorrow. I hope you do. Okay, and we're just gonna give you some balloons for you, right? This is for Chastity's birthday for tomorrow. Have a wonderful birthday, Chastity. We love you, hon. Um, so anyway, just to finish up on that really quick, he said, going forward, every investigation he tried to prove people innocent, right? So as he was attempting to try to prove people innocent, their innocence, and things just kept piling up, showing them they're guilty, he knew he was headed in the right direction. Um, uh, well, thank you, Chastity, for hanging with us. You've been with us for a while now. We totally appreciate it. Thanks for hanging with us on a Friday night. Um, anyway, so that kind of stuck with me. So like, good investigators shouldn't be going in and trying to, drill in. We got to find this person guilty. Let's do our due diligence and see if this person is actually innocent. And in a lot of the cases after that he had, because he took that mindset, not that the person was innocent. I have to prove that they're innocent, because it is the burden of the government to make sure, okay, that someone is either guilty, or if they can't prove someone is guilty, then the person's going to walk. So from that first case that he lost, okay, his evidence didn't pan out. He changed the way he did things. Hey, Rogue Nina, what is going on, honey? It's good to see you. So where am I headed with this? All right. I do think that there was a list. There's definitely, again, too much evidence that was out there, which with Maxwell, with Zane Maxwell, okay? Too much evidence with all of the things that came out. There was like I don't know, 900 documents that came out, uh, that the FBI released in 2024. And this was prior to the Trump taking office, and then I think on January 4th they released some more stuff. So regardless, we have been pounding this shit for a very long time, at least for almost 10 years. This whole thing with Epstein leading up to him, well, who we all know that he committed suicide. Nobody's gonna change my mind on that. Okay, there's just too much evidence that shows his autopsy was all stupid, missing freaking time on videos and everything. That just didn't seem right to me at all. Okay, or any of you. So that's why a lot of you guys are pissed. All right. So my position is, I do think, all right, that there is a client list. But what you have to understand too is, and again, not only were people asking me to comment on this, okay, Ray's Moto Life, what is going on? Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Ray. It's good to see you, man. Thanks for joining us. Ray's Moto Life, we're trying to get him on the show. Um, come hang with us. So I don't want you all to think that I'm not. Trust me, I'm with you all on this. Just continue to hear me out. So, um, Oh, you're heading back to Rumble? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, come over to Rumble. We love you over here. Oh, leave a comment. Don't forget to like and don't forget to like on the YouTube side. And if you're on the Rumble side, don't forget to like as well. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And leave a comment in the comment section. It helps the algorithm with us. So yes, so the evidence has been out there for a long time. So we've seen all this shit with our own eyes. Okay, this stuff unfolding and whatnot. So they can't tell us anything else than what we already know, right? They can't dissuade us from that, and nor should you guys be dissuaded from that. So I want you guys to continue to on your platforms and whatnot, and just hey, speak your piece. But like I said, tonight is a night for you guys to vent. And as I was thinking throughout the week, like I said, I kept my mouth shut about it because I like to observe things and see how shit is gonna play out. All right. There's no, I don't care what anybody says. There's no 4D chess going on here, nothing like that. That's bullshit. Don't listen to that. Okay. Um, but the first fucking thing that kind of threw me off was when Cash and Bongino went on Fox News and did that interview with Sean Hannity. They looked like they were under duress. And we talked about it on the show, right? We're like, they just looked like they were under duress with what they were talking about. Okay. And then, yeah, Ray, I agree, man. It's just going to be another freaking thing that's going to be hanging on us. I would really like to get to the root of it and whatnot and fix this. Yeah. And anyway, so you know, Cash Patel and Dan Bongino were in the trenches for the president. Okay, for 4 years, while all the lawfare was going on, with two guys that were not only Dan Bongino had his own show, Cash Patel was going on every show that possibly. Because remember, he was under They did an investigation on him too, right? Like they were doing some lawfare shit with him. Um, love you. I love you, Nina. You're awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate the like and the comment over there. And please do it over here. And if you're new to the channel and you're just joining us from Rumble or from YouTube, please say hello. We want to say hi to you. So that was the first thing that was like, this shit is starting to get weird. All right. I know everybody's like they're compromised. I personally don't believe that Bongino and Patel are compromised. I think they're walking a walk, and you can kind of see that they're now. You can see there's a crack going on, and I'm okay with that crack, by the way. All right, I'm okay with shit fucking imploding. Okay, so that we can just get to the fucking root of shit, right, and stop bullshitting and dilly dallying and whatnot. Let's stop fucking around. So anyway, Sunday comes and whatnot, and the thing with with this list, right? We know that there's a list, but a lot of people, again, they were throwing shit at me that like the reason the president doesn't want this out is because he was at the island. There has been no proof, okay, whatsoever that on any flight log that has come out that Trump went to the Virgin Islands with to my knowledge. If anybody has something else, please put it out there and I'll be happy to freaking pull it up, okay, and say, okay, I was wrong. And you're right. I have no problem with that. Um, yeah, I agree. You have to question. You're right. You do. And this is what we're doing tonight. I'm going to question. This is a question. Um, Now, personally, again, for me personally, because of the fight that Patel and Bongino were having for Trump over the last 4 years, and not just Trump, just for America first, right? So you've heard us say on the show that MAGA is more than just one person or a couple of people. America first is us. Okay. America first is us, constantly fighting, right? You've heard us talk about you need to do shit on the local level and stuff like that, and pay attention to the judges and the DAs in your towns and your villages and vote the right people in that, that just are the same with you and your ideology and your thought, okay, and how things should be and your morals and whatnot, right? We keep losing these silly races that we should probably win in some places because we don't show up and whatnot, right? So if we don't do stuff locally, things are going to continue to be fucked up. Right. So then all of a sudden Sunday comes and I was very pissed. And then again, Trump was on the island. There's been no evidence of that. We do know that he had contact with Epstein. We know that. Okay, everybody knows that. I personally feel that if he actually was on any list of sexual predation, okay, and trafficking and whatnot, he would be buried in a fucking everything they did to that man for 4 years. Okay, they would have buried him under a jail somewhere. Trust me. Okay, they tried to kill the man. All right, they tried to throw him in jail. They tried to take his finances and everything. They have tried everything to ruin him. And I personally think maybe he is on the list. Okay, but I don't think he's on the list for the reasons that people want to say he's on the list. Um, Yeah. I'm gonna get to that, Rogue. I'm gonna get to that, Nina. Love you, honey. I'm gonna get to that. This is what I was talking about, the crack. Okay. Um. So none of it's true. None of the Democrat leaders are screaming for shit to be released too. So you have heard me on this state on this channel, okay, and you've heard Red Day, and you've heard many of our guests, and many of you in the chats, and many of your viewers have responded that we could give a rat's ass, okay, what letters in front of their name, whether they're R or D, if it is found, okay, that were part of sexual trafficking of children or having sex with children, we want you to go up the creek without a paddle and then right into a wood chipper. That's what we want. So even the president, doesn't matter, we that's how we feel. Doesn't matter that we all voted for him, doesn't matter that we want him to succeed, because right now he is our only chance to he listen, this last election prevented the steep fall into into communism. I don't give a shit what anybody says. That was exactly where we were headed in this next 4 years had the other person won. All right. So anyway, this leads me now to today. Nina brought it up in the chat. Okay. There has been a fracture. All right. There's reports going around. All right. That Dan Bongino got into a fight with her. Okay. Some people substantiate it. Some place I've looked at just like everything. I go to, by the way, use Free Spoke. I went to Free Spoke because they give you everything, left, middle, right, so you get every perspective. Like unlike Google is going to give you completely left. Um, it's all right, honey. It's all right, Nina. It's all good. Um, it's all good. This is why I love you guys, right? Because you guys keep me going. You guys keep the chat going. You guys keep the conversation going. You guys are all true tellers and true seekers in your own right. Okay, and this is why I love you all and appreciate you all, because you guys, you keep me on my toes, right? Even when I'm reporting on stuff, I know a lot of times you guys already know the stuff because you guys have already either seen it, you've heard it, from the many accounts that probably do stuff. So, anyway, one of the reasons that I didn't continuously report on it was because like everybody was reporting on Sunday shit, right? And it was just going and going. And then everybody starts fighting with one another and stuff like that. And I'm not going to defend I'm not going to defend bullshit when it's bullshit. I called it bullshit on Sunday and I continue to feel that it's bullshit today on this Friday. Okay. So I will say this. I do believe that he has a client list, okay? But he also has had a list there. The list is incredibly long. I also believe that not everybody is probably freaking, a predator on that list. Maybe people in contact from business and stuff like that. You know, yeah, I saw that, Ray. I did saw that. I saw that that Cash said that. So again, with Cash saying that he's gonna leave if Dan goes, I haven't really been able to confirm that because I've been going, like I said, left, middle, right on Free Spoke, trying to get every perspective to see, if things kind of align together, if they're all kind of saying the same thing, even though it may be different and whatnot. Um, so I just want you to know that because I think that Trump being on that list was because he was in contact, right? And I think he took a flight to Florida with him and stuff like that, and he may have done business with him. All right, I'm sure plenty of people on that list were just business contacts, right? So my argument is, all right, that's fine. They're saying that, well, it might ruin a lot of people and stuff like that. Well, how about you absolve the people on there that if you've actually done your investigation correctly, and I still don't think 6 months has been enough for them to even determine that. Okay. If you actually did your investigation correctly and you were actually going to what I was saying earlier, if you're actually trying to prove somebody's innocence instead of their guilt, okay? Because if you're trying to prove somebody's innocence and the stuff keeps coming up, um, yeah, I agree with you, Ray. I agree with you. If they do and they stand on their principles, I will have all kinds of freaking respect for them. 100%. Um, so it goes back to what I was saying about investigations, right? Like instead of when you're trying to prove somebody guilty, you get dogmatic and you put blinders on, all right? And that's when you fuck things up. And we've seen it. You probably have seen it. You guys have all watched enough freaking, you guys have watched enough freaking crime TV, I'm sure, to see how investigations could just shit the bed because people are doing things zealously. They don't do things correctly. They break the law or they subvert the law, and they don't do things the way it should be. But going back to like my professor, what I was saying, if you were this is where I was leading, this is why I let out with this, because now I'm talking about this list. On the people on that list, if you have actually done a true investigation to prove that they were innocent and that yes, they may have been in touch with Jeffrey Epstein, but they were never on his island, prove it, right? Just prove that and absolve the people that you feel that you're worried about that you're worried about might actually get dragged in the mud that don't deserve to be in the mud. Prove it and show, hey, these are the people. Okay, these are the first batch of people that we've been investigating. Um, yeah, I agree. I don't know what memo. Yeah, I want to know what that memo wasn't dated or signed. I agree 100%. Um, I want to know about that too. But if you have innocent people on this list that were just in contact with him for business or whatever, and there's absolutely no evidence whatsoever, okay, or you've done your due diligence and you've proven that they're actually innocent and not guilty, all right, then you absolve them and get them off the fucking list and pull them so that you don't have to worry about it anymore. And then you go after the people that you have some dirt on, okay? And then you zero in on the people that you have some dirt on, and then you fucking expose them all. That's all we want. That's all we have been asking, okay, forever now. Before Trump, before anybody's just when this whole shit started with Maxwell and he finally got arrested, okay, we just wanted names to be dropped. And we know that they're gonna listen, the deep state is really that deep. That rod is really in there deep, okay, and they're gonna do whatever they can to protect each other. We see that Comey's daughter, all right, her hands are all over this shit. Why she's still working at the fucking DOJ, I don't know. She should already be gone. All right, I can't explain that. I'm not going to try to explain that. It's bullshit. It is the president's purview to fire whoever the fuck he wants. He should have pulled a Clinton when he came in, and anybody with any kind of Marxist fucking ties should be gone. All right, and bring your own people in. You have to rebuild it anyway. He has the right to fire whoever he wants. So why that lady's still there, I don't know. But going back to what I was saying, okay, this is why I led off with the investigation stuff and everything about how when you're investigating someone, you shouldn't be trying to prove them guilty. You should be trying to prove them innocent. And if you can't prove that they're innocent, then we all know what that is, right? It's like every time I try to prove that this person's innocent, this shit pops up and shows that they're not. Okay, and it's more and more, and that is what I learned from my schooling. Not everybody has that train of thought. Okay, I know that that is just my opinion from from how I look at things. Okay, and if I try to prove just even not even just with like guilt and innocence, just with things in life, I look at things a certain way. If I can go logically, okay, in my thought process and be like, okay, at the end of this is what I came up with. It's going to be either A or B. I'm just not, and this is why I sat back this week because I knew what was coming and going to what Nina was saying today because what they dropped on Sunday was absolute fucking horseshit. All right, it was horseshit, and I knew that it was coming, right? So now we start hearing reports. Dan Mangino got into a fight. Okay, and again, I haven't been able to truly confirm that because some people say it didn't happen, some people say it didn't, depending on what you're reading. All right, I'm gonna go with the fact that I think that's what happened. They got into an argument about it. He took some leave and walked away because he's a pretty hot-headed dude. Okay, and now we're starting to hear that if Dan walks, I walk. Right, with Cash. And if they do that, all right, and they resign, like Ray was saying, I'd have more respect for them, okay, if they do that. Then the White House, being the fucking White House, all right, today, because they've been stepping in shit all this week, all right, just shit is just a drop. I'm gonna get into some other stuff, okay, that shouldn't have happened, that happened this week too, okay. That's just they're having a terrible week, and even though, like I said, we fought and we tried to we fought with the rest of America to get Trump fucking elected. That doesn't mean he's God. Okay. He's not a God. He's just a man. And we have said it on this channel. Okay. Um, yeah. I heard that too, Ray. I heard that too. So like I'm gonna go with the fact that I think Dan being the person that I've seen him for years be, okay, on his show. He was, doing things at Fox and everything. He's a pretty hot-headed dude. All right. His fucking verbal was he used to get on with that freaking Ponce de Leon fuck Geraldo Rivera on Fox. Him and they used to get into some words, and Geraldo Rivera still thought his 80-year-old ass still thought he could fight. And Dan Bongino was like, you know where I'm at. Just on air, he told him, "He's like, you know where the fuck to find me. If you think you can come get some of this shit anytime you want." So I'm with you on that, Ray. I truly feel the same way you do. Okay. So I think he walked away maybe to get cool headed, stuff like that. And if he ends up walking and Cash ends up walking too, I have complete respect. But here's the little caveat I got to that. Okay. Like I said earlier, these two dudes were in the trenches for the president for 4 fucking years. Okay. They had his back then. They have his back now. And if anyone, in my opinion, has got to go, and listen, when fucking he picked Pam Bondi, we talked about her red flag law shit in Florida. Okay. But there was good things there. And we brought up the good shit she did in Florida. All right, we brought up the bad shit. It was like the only thing we can do at this point now is once she gets what do you call it, confirmed, we're gonna have to sit back and watch. And shit she pulled on fucking Sunday to me was like, yeah, all the good that they've been doing for 6 months, right? They've been finding fucking predators, and not just they've been finding these predators, and they have been picking up kids, okay, and pulling them out of the dark. Of course, these kids, unfortunately, are going to be. I think there's some. The report is something like anywhere between 10 and 15,000 kids. We know that 300,000 kids went fucking dark under the last administration, so that's really only a drop in a bucket, but it's a start. Right? These kids are going to be ruined for the rest of their life. Yeah, yeah, I agree, man. They did. Ray says, bring this up so you guys can all read it. She says, well, they built these characters up like they were superheroes and they were going to clean house, and then they stopped them from doing it. That's why I think a lot of people are disappointed. Yeah, I think so too. I think so. I just think the way they're handling things was so, especially something with this big, okay, with Jeffrey Epstein. All right. They're not handling it correctly. And I think that where the risk is right now is that maybe Dan and Cash wanted to go, especially Cash, he's a director, and Dan is the deputy director of the FBI. They wanted to go a different way, and fucking Pam Pondi put the lid on it. All right. But in the end, okay, I still feel the president has the last say, and he has to come in, and he can't just stand by and let his people fucking fight in the DOJ. We brought in these good people, and say what you want about fucking Pam Bondi. We're upset with her, and if she goes, we'll all be happy and stuff like that. But there is good work, and we've reported on that good work that the FBI is actually doing the mission right now that they're supposed to do instead of fucking picking up J6ers, okay, old men and women, and fucking crashing down their doors in the middle of the night, so they can have heart attacks and whatnot, and doing fucking investigations to people that had nothing to do with anything and stuff. So they're actually doing what they're supposed to, right? And that's because Cash is leading the FBI. So I don't want to see him gone. I don't want to see Dan Bongino gone. I actually thought Dan Bongino was going to become the head of the Secret Service and all that shit up. So there is good work going on, right? And again, they're doing their mission for the first time in a long time. I would imagine that any of the good agents, okay, that were left are probably happy that they're not doing the bullshit that they have been putting people on fucking no-fly lists and stuff like that, or to be monitored, quiet skies and all this other bullshit that they were doing with in conjunction with Homeland and stuff like that, right? They were literally we literally had our air marshals, okay, with the FBI following people, okay, around the country because it's just insane. Okay, it was just insane on flights and everything like that, and it was just ridiculous. So on flights that yeah, they got rid of a lot of agents. They got rid of the people who were involved with the J6 persecution, political persecution. There's things that are happening. Okay, I know we all want this shit to happen right away. I do too. I want you guys to understand. I'm with you guys. All right, I do. But we know how the slow rolling shit with the deep state and everything goes. So I do think there's good stuff happening out of the FBI. The shit that happened with Jeffrey Epstein last Sunday and continues to go on, they're getting raked through the coals, and they deserve to get raked through the coals, right? So like Ray's Moto Life was saying, if Dan and Cash fucking walk away, we'd have a lot of respect for them because they'll be like, yeah, I'm not going to be part of this shit. Okay. And then what I want them to do is I want them to light a fucking match on the way out and just pour it on that fuel and just burn it. Just don't be afraid to do it and stuff like that. But I think they would probably have a problem with it. Okay. Because it goes back to what I was saying. They have been fighting for Trump for 4 years in the trenches. Okay. And now here they are at a fucking crossroads. All right. And I don't think he's being very presidential with them. Okay. He should fucking rein this in. Okay. And be like, what the fuck is going on? Right. I know he stood up. Listen, he's gonna stand up for his people. He did that, right? He went after, I think it was a CNN reporter. He lit into them and stuff like that about Jeffrey Epstein, which I think was dumb. I think he should be like, let's. And again, they put out a statement. We have all the faith in our team. There's no fracture and all this stuff. I don't believe that for a minute. I know that is the PC thing to do, and that is the thing to do. Okay, to get out to the people, but there is a rift right now. All right, and my ultimate message to you guys is it's okay to stay on the Jeffrey Epstein thing, but don't let this fucking scumbag consume your life and thoughts. Okay. There's so many other good things that were going on, or so many other things that we have to fucking attack too. Not saying you should forget Epstein, forget his victims and stuff like that. We shouldn't do that. Okay. We should do it right. is what I'm saying. All right, now right now I don't think they're doing it right. What they did was fucking incorrect. There's too much evidence out there that has been exposed for too long to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. Nobody's believing this shit, and they're not going to, nor should they, nor should any of you. You know, so I'm not saying you guys should not be upset. I'm pissed. I might not sound like it, but it irks me that we're talking about this scumbag, okay? That we know was fucking murked. We know that. There's no we just know it. Okay? We seen all this shit in real time. We heard all this shit in real time with our own eyes. Okay? We're not going to be gaslit over this shit. So this is why there's pushback, okay? And like Ray's Moto Life said earlier, okay, if you can't push back, um yeah, the government Jonathan says the government hasn't figured out the internet doesn't forget. They're right. You're absolutely right. You're right. Okay, you're absolutely correct. But like Ray was saying, okay, um, it's just they also got rid of some good agents back in the day under the previous administration and whatnot. And but I'm just saying, don't let this motherfucker consume you. It's okay to be pissed. It's okay to fucking want answers because I still want answers. All right. I don't believe any of this shit. Okay. And you're not gonna get me to believe any of it. All right. So that is where I stand. Okay. On this Epstein things. And you guys are free to rant in the chats. If you disagree with me, tell me why you disagree with me. And let's have a conversation about it. But I'm just telling you, all right, there's a lot of other shit that we need to continue to do. I'm not saying to forget anything about Epstein. I'm not saying to forget about his victims and shit that he did because, you know, it was fucking evil and pure demonic and satanic what this fucker did. Okay, and I want to see people exposed. I really do. And again, I could care if they have an R or a D. Um, yeah, man, it's I don't want everybody to get hung up on this, and we're fighting each other, right? And again, like I had some trolls. Okay, um, I had some trolls, right? So I had people DMing me, respectfully saying, "Hey, what is your opinion? You haven't usually comment on these stuffs. What do you think?" And I was like, and I was saying, okay, and I got them today, and I was like, I'm actually going to talk about it on the show tonight. So just come to the show, and you will hear my opinion on things and whatnot, and stuff like that. But yeah, like Jonathan said, Nina, I don't think it's shit on leverage. Yeah, there's no proof of that. Um, there's just no proof of that. So yeah, I know they're saying people are trying to say, here's the thing, all right? This is something and it's actually comical, right? Because I don't care. I don't know if you guys remember when the big con influencers were out there with that fucking binder of information everybody knew about already. It was nothing new, okay? And they have just been made to look like fools, okay? As they deserve to be made to look like fools, right? Because they weren't being objective, okay, and weren't being fucking the people that got them to where they're at that were questioning things. They just, well, yeah, this is, yeah, okay, all right, and they poured it out to all their viewers and whatnot. I mean, obviously, I was never gonna get invited to some shit like that. But even if I was, okay, I would have brought that shit back to you guys, and I was like, listen, I rummaged through this stuff, and the shit that I already went through, you guys already know. A, B, C, D. We knew this shit for years already. All right, none of this shit is new, and I would have fucking blasted it all over this show if I had the opportunity to get some bullshit like that. All right, and just ripped it apart with you all. All right, but they're made to look stupid. Okay, and right now Dan Bongino and Cash Patel are fucking. I know they're hurting. Okay, again, I listen. We can't push it past anybody, right? They could be end up if they end up being part of the problem, then fuck them too. Okay, that's how I see it. Uh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I just try to fucking yeah. It is a blackmail thing. I do agree with you, Nina. I don't think there's this 3D chess going on with leverage. I could be completely wrong. Okay, 100% wrong. I could be completely wrong, and you could be right. Okay, on that. But in the end, I think our side and the reason why we're fighting with each other and everything is because we want the truth. We just want the truth. We want some justice for some people, right? We really do. Okay. And I wish, like I said, leading up to Maxwell's imprisonment, she had a whole bunch of civil suits from a lot of these girls who were young, and went through all that stuff, and she lost all of them. Okay, I don't think she won a single one of them. I could be wrong. If somebody knows different, please tell me. But I think she lost every single one of them, and a lot of the information came out in those civil suits. All right, there was like I think there was like one case, one of them. Um, yeah, I'm with you, man. I don't want sickos running scot free too. I want in the end, I want it done. Yeah, Nina, you're 100%. It's not so much that I trust the government. You guys know I don't. um, I just have I have a little faith in Bongino and Patel. That's slowly going away. All right, because I think that's what I think my faith was going away in them until I've heard the rift going on today, and I'm like, all right, maybe they're just fucking fed up with this shit. All right, and like I said, we had issues with Pam Bondi when she was selected. We talked on this show about the shit that went on in Florida, both the good and the bad. Okay, because we can't do one without the other. Um, and yeah, our government is not trustworthy at all. So no, I know you're not disagreeing with me. Yeah, I know. No, Nina, I know you're not disagreeing with me, hon. I'm just commenting, love. Um, yeah, we're on the same page, hon. Trust me, we are. But in the end, this is where I stand, okay, with this Epstein bullshit. You guys know, um, my fucking trolls who guy keeps fucking changing his name and shit like that and thinking I don't know who the fuck it is and stuff like that, coming at me and shit on my IG page and whatnot. And I just again, you guys know how I do. I just block them. I don't engage. I just don't. It's not my fucking worth my time and effort. I'm too old for that shit. If they want to be kids about shit, let them be kids. If they want to have a constructive conversation, then we'll have a constructive conversation. And you might prove me wrong on something. And then if you prove me wrong, I'll be like, okay, you were right. You guys know me. You guys know I'll be like, shit, I was wrong. Okay, and accept it. You know, um, it's I don't know. This whole shit is just fucking horse shit. It really is. It absolutely really is. You know, it's I just wish I don't know. Well, listen. Well, let's bring some freaking some news up for you guys. Uh, that's actually related to this, and we'll just keep going because, like I said, there's other shit that's going on that we need to actually absolutely pay attention to. So while this bullshit is going on with there's no list and everything like that. All right. Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm with you, bro. Yeah, I don't listen to black pillars. I don't listen to my trolls mean nothing to me, really. They don't. They just like, hey man, you're just giving me more time. You comment on my shit, okay? It's okay. You're helping the algorithm for me because right now, like on Instagram, Instagram's got me on fucking ice. I'm literally okay on ice. My viewer count since January goes between 22,000 and 22,199 has not gone over that in almost 7 months. It's insane. I've never seen anything like that. I'm like, well, I guess I'm never gonna grow on fucking Instagram anymore. But yeah, we definitely got spun up this week, Nina. We did. But here, this is. I just want to give you, there's still a fight going on with this. This isn't the end of the fight. So I'm gonna bring this up so you guys can see it. Okay. We're still fighting. All right. So it says here over 11,500, and this is from today. Okay. 571 Epstein documents currently on appeal in one FOIA case with Maureen Comey involved. This is why I was saying I don't know why she's still fucking even with the DOJ. It says the public was told that no more Epstein files could be forthcoming. Officials implied the only Epstein related documents left were child porn that could, of course, not be released. The Justice Department, in a memo released on Sunday, and like Jonathan was saying, well, who signed it, said no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted about the Epstein case involving sexual trafficking of children, but one pending FOIA appeal by two litigants in New York that the DOJ's Maureen Comey is due to respond to later this month has identified at least 11,571 more FBI documents alone related to the Epstein affair, almost all of them as of yet unreleased. It says this is in addition to the estimated 3 million documents the government gave to Ghislaine Maxwell to prepare her for her defense, and they are still active in that case. All right, so we know this is again we saw all of the shit real time. We talked about that. The ongoing litigation relates to Freedom of Information Act requests filed by media entities to release Epstein related documents. The litigation was filed by Radar Online and James Robinson over a FOIA originally filed 8 years ago, involves over 11,571 documents that the FBI already admits are responsive to a search for Epstein documents. So, again, there are people, civilians, that are still fighting this shit. Okay. Yeah, Instagram is very sensitive. Yes, Nina, I was just about to say that. Judicial Watch fighting too. Okay. I was gonna bring them up next. All right, because I want you guys to see. Okay. I just wanted you guys to see. All right. This was something that Judicial Watch came up, and I saw this was today actually. All right. So Judicial Watch is on it as well. They're a great organization. They're constantly on top of things. Um, Here it says Judicial Watch Pam Bondi's DOJ tells court it's still reviewing Epstein records for potential release while publicly signaling it's game over. Again, this was from yesterday. The Department of Justice under Attorney General Pam Bondi is in court speaking out of both sides of his mouth. We talked about that. While DOJ insiders quietly tell a federal judge they're still sifting through Jeffrey Epstein's sordid records, including potential names of high profile clients, the very same agency issued a memo declaring no more documents would ever see the light of day. Right? So this is the two sides of their mouth. Judicial Watch, the conservative watchdog group relentlessly pursuing accountability, revealed in a July 7 court filing that DOJ and FBI claim they are still reviewing records in response to a FOIA lawsuit seeking documents on Epstein's network of elites. These records include names of his clients, communications regarding the infamous client list, and any and all materials housed within the FBI and DOJ's treasure trove of sealed files. So I just want you guys to know that, there are people still fighting. Okay. We do have people on our side that are still fighting. All right. And are not going to give this up. Yeah. You are reading my mind today, Nina. Yeah. You've been with us long enough. You know how we do here. So I just want you all to know that this fight isn't over. And we got to continue to fight. And this is why I want you to continue to stay vocal. But again, it was brought to me in several DMs, people, viewers of the show. They came to me respectfully and was like, what's your opinion on this? We haven't seen you really post anything on this. You usually post shit like this, And like I said, if you guys if you guys know my post from Instagram, I always add music to it, and that's usually telling you what I'm thinking. Okay. And those of you who've been following me forever on Instagram know that already. But if you're new and you follow my Instagram, the music will tell you exactly what I'm thinking. Because I post an article, I try to give you a little bit of a recap on it in the article. All right, just so you guys can go ahead. I post stuff and I post a source so that you all, which you all do anyway, because you're all, like I said, true tellers and true seekers, can go and find where it is I got it and do your comparison. And the reason I put Free Spoke there, if you guys use Free Spoke, hit them up and tell them that I'm constantly giving them a big up and they should sponsor me, for crying out loud. Um, but go ahead and use them. They're better than DuckDuckGo and Google. You'll get everything. So yeah, it's like I said, the fight is still there, and we have to continue to fight. Okay, we really do. It's just important that we continue to fight. Uh, we can't ever give up that fight, and I don't want you all to do that. So just know that I'm not telling you guys, no matter how I feel about things, I don't want you guys to stop fighting. I don't. I love you all, and you guys are true patriots, and I just want you guys to continue, okay, to just raise the alarm, okay, and just keep throwing fucking flags, penalty flags. And this is what this episode was about today, because again, I was getting hit. Yeah, I couldn't really respond to too many people um, because I was at work. I got up late this morning. I usually post some articles in the morning. I got up late. I couldn't do it. I had to run out and stuff like that. It's been monsooning here for fucking days. Okay, it's just like it's crazy the amount of rain we're getting everywhere. But we get a lot of rain down here anyway. Um, but it was insane. It rained this morning. It rained yesterday. It rained as it was been raining a little while ago while I was getting ready for the show, and like my power was flicking in and out and whatnot. So, but all right. So we're gonna get into some more stuff. You guys know that we raided a weed farm in California to pick up illegals. But just again, to me, this is all part of the Save the Children message we're constantly talking about on this show. Every time we get a chance. If you guys were watching on Monday, we had some teachers talking about the abuse that goes on in the schools and stuff like that. So we're all about saving the children. But check this out. I'm sure you guys saw this. All right, because you guys are always on top of so it's California pot farm and Newsom donor under investigation for child labor violations after 10 illegal alien juveniles found at facility during the raid. Gavin Newsom's California weed farm is under investigation for child labor violations after 10 illegal alien juveniles were found at the facility during an immigration raid on Thursday. And the ICE agents were getting fired upon during that raid too. The person is still loose. So I hope they find them. Federal agents descended on two marijuana farms in Ventura County, owned glass house farms located in Camarillo and Carpinteria in Southern California on Thursday. The co-founder of Glass House Farms, Graham Farrar, is a Gavin Newsom donor. No surprises there. According to California Public Campaign Finance records, he also donated $10,000 to the California Democratic Governor Newsom in 2018. And most recent public political donation was to California Democrat Assemblyman Greg Hart, July of 2023. Um, says pink-haired protesters are ramming. That was I was saying about that. They shot at them. According to reports, an anti-ICE protester was tipped off to raid after federal agents obtained a search warrant on the farm. Amid the chaos, the protester was caught on video shooting at the agents. No one was struck in the gunfire, thankfully. Children were seen running in the field during the immigration raid. It's insane, man. It was later reported that several juveniles were found at the marijuana facility. The pot farm is under investigation for child labor violations. The CBP commissioner, like CBP in California, is fucking good at anything. Oh no, this is a Border Patrol. Sorry, Rodney Scott provided a photo of the juveniles. I was thinking of freaking CPS. Nearly every juvenile was unaccompanied, and one was as young as 14. There's a picture. They had to obviously hide their faces because of their age. So, this is the shit that we're dealing with, okay? All right, this is the fucking crap that we're dealing with here. All right, and with this stuff. All right. Yeah, you know, these kids, okay, came here. Labor laws are not fucking protecting them. To me, it doesn't regard. In this case, I could give a rat's ass that they're illegal alien kids. I could give they're kids, okay? Child labor. Who knows what else they've been put through working on that farm and whatnot. And this is the shit that we have to stop. Okay, we have a huge sexual predator problem in this country, and we need to fucking root it all out. We need to root that shit all out, and every single one of them get the wood chipper treatment because I have zero sympathy for any of them. I could give a rat's ass what happens to them in jail when the prisoners get a hold of them. They put these guys in protective custody because like they can't put them in gen pop because they'll get taken out and whatnot. I think there's a dude in Alaska who's like he's got like several life sentences because every time they put one of these predators in jail, he murks them. He's like, you know, he was telling me about it, and I told him to shut up, and he continued to talk to me about it, so I killed him. That type of shit, right? And he's done like two or three of them now. I think he's in Alaska. I'm not sure. He's somewhere out there in the West, but he's like he's not prisoner and all. He could give a rat's ass if he stays in jail for the rest of his life. He will take pedophiles out. It's his mission to do it. Um, respect. I respect his grind. Yeah, man. We got to protect our daughters and our kids in general. I'm a grandfather, uh, and God forbid anything ever happened to my grandson. I don't, well, first off, my son would probably kill somebody, but I'd probably be there with him, and we probably both would be doing a bit together. Uh, it's a terrible thing, man. That we gotta get it on the grip. We got a terrible problem in this country, man, and we gotta get it on the wraps. We really do. And while all of this shit is happening and everybody's paying attention to freaking, this scumbag Epstein, all right, not to saying that we shouldn't, again, not telling you guys not to, and keep that energy, keep it forever. Uh, we got, crazy shit going on. We got this shit going on. I'll bring it up for you guys. Why this is happening, I don't know how this is happening, but this happened. Okay, it says USAID shipped 11,000 virus samples to the Wuhan lab without formal agreements or oversight. Uh, I saw something like I could have sworn I saw a quick like mention of this maybe a week ago, but like I wasn't paying attention. It says the U.S. Agency for International Development quietly funneled thousands of viral samples, including potential ancestors of COVID-19, to the now infamous Wuhan Institute of Virology without a formal agreement, documentation, or even a contingency for U.S. access. The shocking details buried in documents obtained through the Freedom is in a FOIA lawsuit by nonprofit U.S. Right to Know showed USAID shipped 11,000 virus samples to China, home to some of the closest known relatives of the COVID-19 virus, directly to the was at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, the WIV. According to the internal sample disposition records obtained by the Daily Caller, USAID's Predict program run by EcoHealth Alliance and University of California, Davis facilitated, doesn't surprise me that the California University is part of it, to storage and long-term custody of over 11,000 virus-laden samples in Chinese laboratories. Shockingly, there was no formal partnership agreement with the Chinese labs, no clearly defined safeguards. 3,000 human samples, 6,380 bat samples, 1,671 rodent samples. Wow. Right. So this is the shit that's still going on. I don't know when this happened. This looks like this probably happened already, judging by the article. It's just been released now that we're just finding out about this stuff. Yeah, Team Wood Chipper for sure. So these are the things that we're constantly. These are things that we're still fighting, right? Like even though USAID has been freaking gutted and ripped apart, we come to find out that they pulled this bullshit. And with the human samples, they probably had the identities of the humans and probably went to the Chinese with it. You know, again, bad week for the again balls and strikes on the show. You know that it has been a shit week for the administration. Okay, and we're gonna call them out on shit. We just are. You know, um, we can't sit back and not say anything. I know you guys saw this. I didn't get a chance to post this, but here we go. Again, we're still dealing with shit with COVID. This is Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine, Spikevax, receives full FDA approval. Again, we're getting mixed messages from the MAHA leaders. Okay, for children aged 6 months to 11 years at increased risk, despite mounting safety concerns and public distrust. In Europe, they have stopped giving this shit to kids. Like the rest of the world has stopped, but we're still doing dumb shit. So the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has officially granted full approval to Moderna's controversial mRNA COVID-19 vaccine, Spikevax, for children as young as 6 months old through 11 years who are deemed at increased risk of COVID-19. Again, what is increased risk? The vaccine was previously available to kids under the EUA, but the FDA has now handed over full approval, greenlighting the use of the experimental shot, despite growing evidence of adverse events, including myocarditis, pericarditis, allergic reactions, and even seizures in young recipients. We all saw this shit in real time, right? Like we've been trying to report on this shit. Everybody's been reporting on this shit. So we appreciate the FDA's diligent scientific review. Yeah, whatever. Again, this here, while the media parrots talking points about protecting vulnerable children, the fine print tells a different story. Myocarditis and pericarditis risks are highest in males ages 12 to 24, and Moderna wants to jab children as young as 6. Adverse reactions include seizures, chest pain, shortness of breath, vomiting. We've talked about this, not specific reactions, and even fainting, but just the adverse reactions. Parents are told stay nearby for up to an hour after their child's injection. If you're putting this shit in your kid, you deserve to get fucking thrown in a wood chipper too. The vaccine may not protect all recipients. Yeah, no shit. Yet Moderna continues pushing forward with mass vaccination. Right? So this is shit that's still happening. Again, but we got to put this out for you all so that you know that this is the shit that's still going on. These are the fights I'm saying that we got to continue to fight. Don't give up on that shit, okay? It's not just the shit with the sexual predators. Like I said, we have a problem in this country with that. Stay on top of that. But that was my opinion today, fam. That is how I felt about it all week. And I was starting to see the crack. Yeah, irreversible harm, 100%. Starting to see the cracking and whatnot. And I just was like, hey, Ray, Moto's Life, are you still out there, brother? DM me DM me on Instagram, man. And let me know when you want to come in and stuff like that. Come hang out. We got a show next Friday is booked up, and then we got the 25th is booked. So we might have to push you to August, brother. And I think you told Scott that you could come in on a Friday. Just let me know. DM us, myself or Reddaywalker, and we'll work it out, man. Yeah, we want to bring Ray's Moto Life on, uh, and whatnot, so we can have a chat. New friend of the show right there. He's in the chat hanging with us on YouTube. And yeah, I just want to thank you all, man. Rumble, you guys are always repping, man. And we got a pretty good people on YouTube, man. YouTube, YouTube and Instagram has got my ass on serious ice. They got me fucking in a freezer box, okay, with the rest of the freaking pork shoulder and shit. They got me freaking just stuck. Uh, Need your help, fam. Share videos, like and subscribe, drop a couple of comments and whatnot. Yeah, yeah. We what do you call it, brother? We go live on both, man. Same time. And the reason we did that because on inauguration night, we were trying to cover the inauguration and we got pulled down. Well, it wasn't just us; everybody got pulled down on YouTube, big channels as well, stuff like that. And so we just like we pulled it up on Rumble, and since that day, we've just stayed on Rumble as well. So just in case they 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 fire us on what do you call it? They just in case they freaking rip us down on a YouTube, um, then it is. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe, fam, and don't forget to sign up for the Discord. Uh, Speaking of Discord, Jonathan, do you think the 19th, next Friday, you think you want to do the movie then? We do movie nights on Discord, fam, once a month. So sign up for the Discord. It's also a great place for us to hang. You run the StreamYard. I run. We use EVMux, brother, for us. Um, I just think it's like it just works for me. I went with it because they actually I believe they started helping churches with their like filming for churches and stuff like that, and then they just built a stream thing out of it and whatnot, and it's been very good for us. The 25th is better for you. All right, so the 25th is when we're gonna do movie night, fam. All right, so 20. No, no, you're right. The 25th is a Saturday, bro. I think. Am I right? Wrong? Hang on. No, the 25th is a Friday. You're right. The 26th. Oh, you're right, because the 25th is my is I gotta it's my brother's birthday on the 25th. Uh and whatnot. So yes, the 26th, Saturday, the 26th, we're doing movie night. I don't know what movie we're doing. As we get closer, I'm gonna probably have to put up a vote on there again, and Jonathan's gonna probably end up picking because last time only two of us voted and there was a tie. I had one movie, Nita had the other, and like nobody else voted, so and he ended up having to break the tie. But we ended up seeing a good movie that night. We watched Gladiator. So Jonathan has like he's got like fucking 1,000 movies and stuff like that that he can stream, and he's got a lot of really good movies and whatnot. So we want to get more people there to hang with us. Again, the Discord is a good place for you to just continue this conversation with us and whatnot. And we got okay, he's gonna put up a poll this week. Uh, the Discord is a place for you to drop news articles if you want to. We got a news section, we got meme sections, we got a music section, obviously general chat so that you guys can talk to one another. News and politics, political theory. Jonathan's got some great stuff in there. We even got a freaking section for furries, not to be confused with people who want to be furries. You post your animal pics and stuff like that. Uh, so it's just a good place for us to continue our conversations when we're not doing this on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday night. Um, I haven't able to ramp it up to Tuesdays and Thursdays as well because of work. It's just been a little bit crazy uh, with training and whatnot. Even though you know I had to do additional training and whatnot. Uh, Rogue Nina says I'll put this up for everybody. She says look into Moderna articles from 2017. Interesting subject matter. They actually did real reporting then and tried to warn us, showed us proof they did the GameStop kind of thing to get where they are. Yeah. Yeah. Not only that, but like, I don't know if you guys remember at the beginning of COVID, right? I remember this, okay? Some people don't, but I specifically remember in the beginning, they had the deaths, right? They had infections, they had the numbers, right? The infections, deaths, but you know what they also had on the board? They had recoveries, okay? People who were recovering, right? And then the narrative shifted so that they can put us on lockdowns and all that other stuff and everything. And the Marxist state media was obviously behind it with the deep state and big pharma, whatever. Yeah, I never got it either, brother. I ended up losing my job because of it. So if you remember that, guys, think back, man. You probably won't. We probably won't be able to find anything online, but I specifically remember the first couple of weeks they were putting the recoveries, and the recoveries were way higher than the infections were because people were recovering from like the week, 2 weeks before. So the recovery numbers were going through the roof, and they were showing people that they were showing at the time. You were getting a real life, actual. Okay, these are the amount of people got infected this week, so we got a total of this. But all the infections that we already had, these are all the recoveries, and then these were the deaths and stuff like that. So like the recoveries were going through the roof, and then they had to pull that shit off the screen. There's again they sponsor these big, what do you call it? The pharmaceuticals sponsor all these news agencies, Fox included. Okay, and so they changed it. They changed the narrative on purpose and took that away. But I remember saying that in the beginning, and I was like, wow, a lot of people recovering. I thought it was a good thing. Oh, they did pad those numbers very, very hard. Because you remember, anybody who was infected with COVID, they could have died from something different, from a car accident. But if they had COVID, okay, they put it down as COVID because the hospitals and shit were getting paid, uh, stuff like that. So everybody's death was COVID related. You could have had a motorcycle accident, and if you had if you tested positive, okay, for COVID, and whatnot, and it was all right, this person has freaking they died from COVID, but meanwhile they wrecked in a vehicular accident, whatnot. So they padded all those numbers. Very, very tough thing to do and whatnot. But how we all feeling tonight, fam? Everybody give me a thumbs up in the chat. Let me know we're all doing good. Um, let me know if it just also let me know about anything we talked about. Yeah, yeah, it had a 90. You're right, Nina. It had a 90. It always had a 99% recovery rate. You're 100% correct. And again, those numbers were up on the board, and I remember seeing them up on the board, whatnot. But you know, yeah, the more the numbers, the more the government funded, right? So that's by the way, that's why the recoveries they took that off and stuff like that. And they stopped giving those numbers because those numbers were outdoing the deaths and infections, and a lot of billions of dollars, man, between the big ag and the government, and these people were raking it in. A lot of people made a lot of the wrong people made a lot of good money. Everything from freaking kickbacks to their stock going through the roof and getting dividends and whatnot. A lot of people in our government and whatnot. So, uh, anyway, fam, yeah, it's been a good night tonight. I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from with this Epstein thing. I hope you guys understand that I still want you all to continue to speak loud about it. All right, I don't want you guys to forget it, but I also want you guys to remember, okay, that we still have a lot of shit to do. We only got 3 years left to do it. Okay. I don't want you to get consumed with this scumbag, right? Because it just evil likes to consume the thoughts of the good. Okay. And we're good people, right? You guys are all patriots. You guys love this country. We understand that there's a shit that needs to be fixed. Okay. It's the whole reason why we're fighting, because we want to fix it. And a lot of people don't understand that. And even the Marxists on the left don't understand that we're not only fighting for us, we're actually inadvertently fighting for them too, and their families. Well, we know what they do with their kids. um the good thing is that on our side we're having more babies and whatnot, so that's good. More conservatives to grow up and learn about good things. Gen Z is becoming more religious. That is an amazing thing for me to see, and it's just like, whoa, it's great to see. uh so these are good things that are happening, and we just need to keep the listen. I'm always going to report on, I'm always going to report on what I can, but I'm always going to try to bring you guys good stuff as well. There is good shit that's happening. We are still fighting things, despite all the bullshit with Epstein. The FBI, and I want you guys to take this one thing: the FBI is on mission to do what it is that they were supposed to do. Okay, and they are rounding up. There's reports dropping all the time of them rounding up these not just illegal alien sexual predators, but predators here in the United States that are citizens. Okay, they're rounding these people up, so they are doing that. The DOJ they're suing the fucking state of California over Title IX right now. Okay. um and other states and stuff like that. They're doing the thing that they're supposed to do, the mission that's part of their mission, right? Because they're not only supposed to just put people away, but they're supposed to protect civil rights and whatnot. So these are things that are still happening. So no matter how I feel personally about who's leading it, and I'm at my wits end, try to give her some love, okay, in the beginning, just some perspective of like, okay, We knew that she was this when it came to the 2A, but she did do a lot of good shit while she was in Florida as well. There were a lot of people who got hemmed up that deserved to get hemmed up. Um, but this shit right now, we know, just stay mad. It's okay to stay upset. I just don't want it to consume all of you, right? I have nothing but love for you guys. You guys know I try to be, I'm not, I'm rediscovering my religion. Okay. I try to read the Bible every morning and everything. I don't come on here, and every now and then I pray. You guys hear me pray on the show and whatnot, but like, I respect everybody's where you come from and everything like that. I have freaking love for the jihadis. You guys all know why. I'll never freaking support that shit. We are a Christian nation, and we need to continue to be a Christian nation. But with that said, we are a constitutional republic, and we do have to respect people's views and rights and everything like that. We don't have to agree with them. All right. We just need to continue to do what we need to do to continue to bring tradition back into this nation, and we can fix it. And we need to keep fighting. And just remember, fam, okay, this fight is not over. Trump is one man. When he's gone, we got to continue this fight, right? We got we got elections coming up next year. So, one of the things that Red Day and I are gonna do, we got we got two people who are running in Texas that in the next coming weeks we're gonna bring on the show, so they can tell you guys their platform, and you guys can hear who they are. Number one is running in Jasmine Cratchit's fucking district, and the other one's in close to that. The other one's up in the Dallas area because I think Cratchit is in Houston. So we're doing our best. Red Day and I are trying to. He said he wanted to work on these elections coming up, on one of the shows, and I agree with him. Right? We should bring you that. We should try to bring you that information on who's running and whatnot, who we should be primarying out and stuff like that, because that is a fight that we have to have. We can't be afraid to have it. Right? They're going after fucking what's his name? Paxton from is it Paxton? Paxson, I think it is. In Ken Paxton, his wife's divorcing him or whatever. There might be some infidelity there. The rhinos in the Senate Republican committee for campaign committee and stuff like that. They put a hit piece on him already, right? Because they're gonna fucking coalesce around each other and continue to circle jerk and give each other Oklahoma hand grenades in a hotel somewhere. That's just what they're gonna continue to do, and we got to continue to fight it. That's another thing. Fucking supporting the Trump supporting Lindsey Graham, right? He's gonna fucking die with that dude, right? He's gonna die on that hill with Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham is a fucking scumbag, and Ken Paxton, the AG of Texas, yeah, Paxton. He's running against John Cornyn from Texas to fucking try to primary him out, trying to get rid of a rhino who's been there for a very long time. It's an uphill battle, man. That is an uphill battle, right? So we're gonna do our best to try to bring you some of these, as many candidates as we can. Trust me, Red Day and I are both working on it. Um, we'll do what we can to try to bring it in, so we can bring these people to you, so you can see who they are, right? And then you can tell your friends or your family in their states that might be in their district, this is who you need to support. Yeah, Lindsey Graham, he can fucking get on the chupacabra. I know you guys haven't heard me say that in a while. That he came in on, do a 180, ride that motherfucker off a cliff straight to one of the nine hells where he came from. Fuck him and herd of goats he came in on. He's a scumbag, scum of the earth. Okay, the reason he continues to get elected in South Carolina because he is, again, just like Mitch McConnell, master fucking pork maker, man. He's brought a lot of money, especially in the military industrial complex here in the state of South Carolina. Yeah, yeah. There is, man. We got so many, so much shit to do, Nina. It's a constant fight. Um, I just don't want my whole thing is like, because I love you all. You guys show up. Many of you guys show up every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to come hang with Red Day and I on Wednesdays when I'm alone. You guys hang with me. Now with the major. By the way, the major did the major. Oh, you're in East Tennessee, brother. Oh man, that must mean you must have got hit during Helene and stuff like that. Um, The major, by the way, sent me a picture. He's got his new setup that he's gonna set up. It's really good. He's got good equipment. I was giving him so much shit after. It's like, dude, you gotta set your shit up, man. I was like, I'm gonna send you a camera, man. But he's got to set up. Um, he's gonna what do you call it? He's gonna set his shit up for the next show. So we're not gonna have a show on the 23rd. As far as Warrior Wednesday, he won't be back until next month because he's got another golf tournament that he's got to go to, another fundraiser to raise money and stuff like that. He's got a couple of them. I think he's gonna be up in the Myrtle Beach. You didn't? Oh, you didn't get it there? Okay, because I know Eastern Tennessee and Western North Carolina got hit pretty bad. In particular, Western North Carolina. But I like Tennessee. Tennessee's a good state, man. Uh, last time I was there was in Nashville. Went to go see Smashing Pumpkins 2 years ago, and then we got a second concert. We went to Kid Rock's bar, and there was literally a band in there with no name. And oh, okay, you're not that far east, all right. But Eastern Tennessee. But we went to Kid Rock's bar and got us. The band was literally they were like, yeah, we have no name. We just came together to play. So I was like, just call your fucking band No Name. I said that'll freaking stick. And sure enough, they played a whole bunch of shit. They just like were going by requests, and then I don't know how we got them to play freaking "Killing in the Name of" by Rage Against the Machine, but they dude was like, I've never done any Rage, but man, they killed it. I was like, holy shit, they were just that good. Like one of the guys knew the riffs, and another guy was a drummer. He knew the drumming, so and the singer obviously he knew the words, but he's like, I've never done it, and they did it. So if you ever get a chance to get to Nashville and whatnot. It's a nice little town and stuff like that. A lot of partying going on down there and everything. It's a fun it's a fun town. I had fun while I was down there. So yeah, fam. Well, fam, we're gonna call it a night early tonight. Um, Red Day, like I said, will be back with us on Monday. He had some family obligations, and he'll be back Monday. Next Friday, we got Cozy's coming back. We got Cozy, and then two new people, DVS 70, and Jesus AOK is gonna be with us. They did a song. If you guys yeah, I had a good time in Nashville. I would imagine 25 years ago was probably better. I did all my partying really in the 1990s, really the 1990s, uh, early 2000s a little bit, but by then after 9/11 I went back into the military and I was off to war and whatnot. Yeah, yeah, no, no, Nina, no, I know that, honey, I know that. Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. I used to drip LSD on Second Avenue and Riverfront. Holy shit, that's funny. No, I know that, Nina. I know that. It's just because I love all you guys, and I know all you guys are patriots, and you care about this country, and these are all issues that are important to us, and we just get very frustrated when it comes to we don't see things happening fast enough. I just wanted to highlight that, how I felt because it was brought to me. Um, it was brought to me by people who are DMing me who watch the show and whatnot or follow me on Instagram, and then across the trolls who are like, "Oh, you stay away from that Epstein list, don't you?" Like, bro, I'm gonna put whatever the fuck I want on my page. I don't. You're not gonna tell me what I should fucking what articles I should put on. Plus, if you paid attention, I posted the shit on Sunday, okay, when the shit dropped and everything like that. And why am I gonna fucking waste my energy all week when like 10 million people are talking about it? Okay. There are other things we need to talk about. You don't need an extra person to say it. But since there were some people, like I said, who were viewers and whatnot that genuinely wanted my opinion, I wanted to make sure I gave that to you all today. So no one can say that I didn't have an opinion on it, and no one can say that I didn't talk about it. Plus, I know it's something that should stay important. But I'm going to continue to bring as much as I can. Again, next week we got guests on Friday. Then on the 25th, we got Danny Cruz is coming and Lana Liberty. She's a new friend of the show. She's gonna come with us too. She's gonna come on and hang with us on the 25th. Yeah, yeah, man. It was, man. People just jumped in it afterwards. I think it's kind of been like that for a long time, but I think you're right. I think after that on Sunday, I think it was crazy. 2 million searches in that just in that day. or like probably like in an hour or whatever. That's crazy, man. Um, so we got things brewing for you guys, fam. We are trying to bring some good guests on for you. We always try to do that. I know you guys enjoyed Monday's show. You guys always enjoy the major too when him and I get together. He's a pretty funny dude. I like him. He's a good upbeat dude. So he's got equipment now. So he's gonna, what do you call it? Nicki Minaj was number second with 100,000 searches. That's crazy. Uh, but yeah, he will be back next month. So next Wednesday it'll be another BTM show. It won't be. I'm sorry, the 23rd it'll be another Break the Machine show. But it won't be. I think Blondie will be back from, what do you call it, vacation next week. I think if she's back next week, I'll bring her on. Will be next week and the following week on the 23rd as well. If not, it'll just be me, fam. But Red Day will be back Monday. Again, we got a packed house next Friday, and then we got a packed house again the following Friday, and then the 26th. Don't forget, fam, that we have movie night on Discord. Sign up for the Discord. Don't forget to like and subscribe tonight. Don't forget to pick up your Scars and Stripes coffee. Link is in the description. Code is Big Red. But if you click on my affiliate link, it should take you right there. And when you go to check out, you should have the coupon in there plugged in already. If not, it's Big Red. It's either all caps or just the B is capitalized. I don't remember. Um, sorry about that. I think it's all caps. But I love all you guys, and I'm glad you guys showed up tonight. Really appreciate you. Rumble, you guys always doing your thing. YouTube, starting to get more people on YouTube, just starting to drip back in. Remember, we used to have more before we went to Rumble. We used to have like more people on YouTube. Obviously, everybody was there, but I think people, moved over to Rumble, which I'm fine with. You guys are getting me closer and closer to being able to monetize on Rumble. We just got to get the watch time up. So don't forget to again like and subscribe, share some of these videos with people, like-minded folk who might agree with us and understand this is a community of true tellers and true seekers. And it is our little echo chamber. I don't really give a shit if anybody calls it that because I do. And we all patriots here and we all love one another. And we all have difference of opinions on some things. We don't always agree on everything, but we're respectful to one another here. So that's why I don't deal with the trolls. That's why I don't pay attention to the negativity. None of that shit bothers me. All right, because I have all of you. You guys are like fucking pure energy and pure therapy for me talking to you all. I truly enjoy it. So I've said all I had to say for tonight, fam. Gonna call it a night early. And remember that I am the big one guy signing out. And remember that together and only together can we break the machine. God bless you all. God bless America. And I will see you all on Monday night, fam. Have a great weekend and God bless.